felt like someone's going to make a film with these visuals in it one day, and I'm going to be so jealous of them. I've got to try and be that guy.
Hi, I'm Gora from Etalk CTV Canada. Congratulations, Gareth, on The Creator. It is an epic and intimate masterpiece. I loved it, and I was bawling at the end.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to ask you, about the parallels with monsters because I found myself flashing back to it so often. Aside from the budget and scale, I found thematically there were so many parallels. How much of that was on purpose?
I feel it was probably because I'm like a one-trick pony, so I've got like 3 ideas and I have to just recycle them probably. There was a massive, that was one of the most creative experiences I've ever had in my life, is making that first film. And we had no money. There were just 5 of us in the van traveling around Central America. And we just looked for anything that was cool and interesting and incorporated it into the film and kind of made it up a little bit as we went along. And I really, really enjoyed that. And then I got teleported into the World Cup final and got to do like Godzilla and Star Wars, and really missed the creativity that comes with just having that freedom. And so I was like, whatever I do next, I've got to kind of combine those 2 worlds, like have that organic, creative freedom, but mixed with the kind of scope and scale you get from a big Hollywood blockbuster. And so we tried to, the simplest way to explain it, if that's the size of your budget, they normally take this much, like on a big blockbuster, they'll take this much and they'll put it on a shelf as like an insurance policy, like a backup. And so I was like, can we go make the movie with this and have loads of freedom, and then have this as the insurance policy that we give to Industrial Light and Magic, and then do all this science fiction stuff? And that's a very simplistic view, but that was the approach. And thankfully, New Regency were up for the craziness.
I wanted to ask you also about the amalgam of Eastern cultures that you show, and the concept of nature versus nurture when it comes to AI and its context, how you showed the Eastern culture kind of helping it blossom. What is your take on that, given the environment that we're in, especially in the Western world where actors are kind of at odds with AI at the moment?
Yeah. I mean, when I started out, AI was just a metaphor in that, because I started writing this 4 or 5 years ago, and AI was meant as to represent people who are different to ourselves, and how we always fear something that's not like us. And that's how it started. And then as soon as you sort of start dabbling with AI, as we all know now, it gets very philosophical and difficult, because it's like, how do you know if it's really alive or not? What if you want to turn it off? What if it didn't want to be turned off? And so all these questions became super fascinating, and the film became more about that, or as much about that than the original idea. And so the East and the West side of things is really, there's numerous things that contributed to that. But I found with Star Wars, the thing that George Lucas did so well is he would take things from the ancient past and marry them with things in the far future. So mythology with spaceships and robots. And I think the closest place to that in the real world to me is in Asia, where you can go to some mega city like Bangkok or Tokyo, and it looks like something from a manga anime cartoon, or Blade Runner, and then you take a left turn and suddenly there's a temple and a monk. And that contrast of ancient spirituality and religion and all that tradition with this far future looking society, I get so excited about that. The idea of a robot monk, was that contrast. I felt like someone's going to make a film with these visuals in it one day, and I'm going to be so jealous of them. I've got to try and be that guy.
I'm glad you made it. Would you ever return to this world? Because we would love to go back.
When someone tells a joke, the best bit's the punchline, right? When someone shows a movie, the best bit I think is the ending. I love endings. They're my favorite parts of a film. And so this film ends, and it's supposed to be like a self-contained one-off, but I guess it's a high-class problem if, depending on how the film performs, if someone taps you on the shoulder and says, we'd like another one, I'm not sure what I'd do, but right now it's a standalone. I'm very proud of it, but we'll see what happens.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.